and he's out in the streets and he hears about your reputation prior to him from the streets, it's almost worse. He should have heard it from you. Because now he's like, well, damn, you got me out here looking crazy because I'm the quote unquote high value man and I have this reputation in my neighborhood. But I'm finding out things about you, you being associated with me, it takes my stock down.
Okay. I'll give you an example. I've asked people nowadays, especially there's people I know going to politics. I've met some young brothers who know at a very young age, young being 23, 24, MBA from Harvard, University of Pennsylvania law school degree. They want to go into politics. You get with a girl, maybe the first question, a woman, you may have to ask, hey, do you got a sex tape out there? I had one and I had to go through great lengths to secure that. The reason I'm bringing that up is because that could be used as oppositional research when I'm going for the state assembly seat, when I'm going for the state legislature seat, or maybe people will keep it quiet. It's going to be for this other seat. It's going to be for the senator. It's going to be for the president. And I need to know right now if you have a sex tape. Well, I ain't got no sex tape. Okay, cool. You sure? I'm telling you the truth. No problem. 5 years goes by. 10 years goes by. 15 years goes by. 20 years goes by. So-and-so's running for senator. He met his goals. High-achieving, high-value man. Always on pursuit of climbing and getting more. He climbs and gets more. And what does the opposition research bring out of the wing? A sex tape from your homegirl when she was in college. Your girl, not your homegirl. Mm-hmm. What do you do at that point? Well, you got to batten down the hatches because I can't have no sex tape of my wife out there when I'm running for senator. That will mean my political dreams have been dashed, not just for this election cycle, but for forever election cycles. And now you turn to your partner and say, listen, we had this conversation. I told you what my dreams were. If I was becoming the leader of a startup, a CEO, this wouldn't have mattered. If I was becoming the leader of a nonprofit that's going to rescue and work with immigrant children here in the United States, that wouldn't have mattered. You knew, and I knew, that going into politics, an image needs to be projected and it needs to be protected. I asked you if there was a sex tape. You told me no. There's no sex tape. We had the conversation. I trusted you and I agree with you. Now I'm here, about to clinch the brass ring of my life. One of the brass rings. Hopefully the next step is the presidency. And now I'm dealing with sex tape drama. That now it is out. Even if we find and acquire the sex tape, will never go away. Now, let's go with your logic. Based on that example, because I think that's a real example. Because there are people I've met who are like, nah, I had to do certain things because I do want to get into politics. There's young people who are very well aware that they have to curate their life from a very early age, early being post-college life. Even sometimes in college life, because they understand. They went back to Brett Kavanaugh's days in Yale University, where he tried to like hump a woman or stick his dick or took something. I forgot what he did. They'll go back that far. Any young person running for politics understands that. I told you that when I got with you. Sex tape out there. Now I'm in trouble. We need to get damage control and get our hands on this freaking sex tape. This hard drive. Probably uploaded in the cloud by now, right? Hard drives would have been, we don't even realize hard drives were a blessing 20 years ago. Because if you got a hard drive before it really went on the internet and the power of video on the internet, you could probably stop something from getting viral. Now, try that. I don't know. A lot of scraping that has to get done. From a programmer's perspective, like scraping the internet. And if you have the money, you'll do it. But where's that money going to come from? That's going to be $100,000, $50,000. But bigger than that, you have me out here looking crazy.
And that's all it is. That's all I'm talking about. A dude's mindset that he looks crazy, the conversation needs to be had.
Yes, because for men, that community management piece is huge. Now, for women, from what we've been told, to some extent, when you're cheating and then you're going to the local store and you're cheating, and that classic Carlo Gambino story that Sammy the Bull told about,
story.
Huh?
Powerful story.
Very powerful story. And I'll tell it again for those who are listening. Sammy the Bull was telling a story on his podcast. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't want to disrespect his podcast. We'll give a link to the story because that's his story and he should own it. So that's what we're going to do. But there's an idea of being respectful to your partner when you're in public, even when your partner is not around you, because people talk about your partner and you could disgrace them and even worse, humiliate them and leave them exposed and vulnerable to attacks that come from all over the place, and not just regular attacks, crazy attacks. So to go back to keeping it on the men right now, men want to know that they can manage their community well. They want to be leaders and pillars of their community, even among their boys. And if your boys, or in the case of the senator example, find out that your wife has a sex tape, you know your staffer is going to look at it because they have to. Now you got your staffers walking around like that.
They got to identify. So they got to watch it.
Opposition has watched it.
Got the monocle out like it's
yeah, exactly. It looks like that looks like Sarah, but I wasn't sure. But right. So now, as a man, you have set a boundary. You have put a fissure, a Grand Canyon-sized fissure between us. That at this point, I'm going to do my best to cover up. But how do you cover up a Grand Canyon fissure? I don't know. But I'm going to do my best to cover up because at the end of the day, I need this marriage and us being together to get to my next goal, which is being president. But trust and believe, this is a marriage in name only. You violated. You violated. You broke trust, and you broke trust with me publicly in the most embarrassing, time-consuming, career-stopping way. This wasn't something that came out 2 or 3 years later where I can be like, why'd you lie to me? And we can just talk about it and get through it and, you know what, put a squash in it right there. Or we can't squash it, but now I know. So when I know the opposition's research brings it to light and it comes at me through a salacious rag or some kind of newspaper article, it's already being dealt with because I told my team what the deal is. You lied to me, but it was low stakes lies. I didn't like it, but we got through it. You left me to be exposed at this grand level. And for some men, they're not going to be senators. But when they walk in the club and they see these dudes they used to roll with or dudes they know on a, hey, what up, basis? Dudes pull you aside and say, yo, homie, I don't know if you know, but XYZ, XYZ, XYZ.
Bro, that's the worst feeling ever. That's why I'm saying information that you know will impact somebody's decision on how they see you.
But now, here's the thing. The woman could say, I didn't know we were going to this club, and I didn't know these guys would be here. If I did, I would have told you, maybe we shouldn't have went there tonight. Or maybe, hey, listen, there's some guys from my past that are going to be there. Like, I remember watching a clip from Carmen, who was Nas's ex, and she's the mother of his daughter. And, you know, she was talking about dealing with Jay-Z while she was dealing with Nas. I think it was on the Vlad TV show. And eventually, when it came time for Nas to, like, really go at Jay with Ether, classic, iconic diss track, one of the top ones of all time, especially coming from Nas, because to me, Nas is Pac. They're more poets. They weren't battle rappers. So for Nas to come out with a diss track like he's a battle rapper, you know, Jay-Z came out of the Big Daddy Kane tradition. Nas came out of more of the Rakim flow tradition. For that to happen was big deal. And I think she said she had to tell Nas all the things that she did with Jay for, you know, I mean, I don't know how detailed she got, but she's like, I'm a grown woman and I did grown woman things. Because that's what grown women do. Because I needed to feed this machine, Nas, in order for him to get what he needed so that I could go at him the way he needed to be going at and demolish this and, you know, put a nail in the coffin to this issue. So is it that your girl, as you walk in the club, she sees maybe 2 or 3 dudes outside she's dealt with, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't go in here. Why? What's going on? You know, my homeboy's throwing a party. Listen, there's some dudes I used to deal with here, and it's not that they're rough dudes or dudes who, you know, pull straps or, you know, they got extendo clips. It's just that you're going to be in there with dudes I did some things with, and I'm a grown woman, and I did.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the scenario and the way it plays out, cool. If it plays out like that. I'm just talking about a scenario where the information has not been communicated at all.
But does she
holding it? Go ahead.
I'm cutting you off, please.
You're holding it knowing that, yo, if I'm this real, keep it this tall with this dude, the treatment may change. That's not the outcome I want. So I will hold this information in or go to my grave with it because I don't want to be looked at differently. Not really understanding that if you're honest with the dude up front, there's a percentage or a chance that they may not judge you. You know what I
But
mean? It's the fact that you didn't tell me and I had to hear about it in the street. Like it makes me look dumb. I think the functional equivalent is like a Khloe Kardashian finding out Tristan got some chick pregnant from TMZ. Like, yo,
Yeah.
son, if you had just come to me and said, why, we could at least control the narrative. I know what's going
yeah,
on, but I got to hear about this shit through third party, through the media. That's what I'm talking about. The functional equivalent, because that's what we're really talking about, is someone feeling like they've been made to look dumb. And if you
yes.
have information that can make me look dumb out here, yo, tell me so I'm not looking stupid.
But the difference is, only with your Chloe example, from what we know, from what we were told, and how it was presented was, we were in a relationship. In the current relationship, you went out of your way to cheat on me
Mm-hmm.
with some chick who's supposed to be personally training you, and turns out you were training her personally, and a couple other things. Got her pregnant. We got a kid already, and I find out publicly, and don't have my PR team, because I am a brand, and my PR team needs to be respected because I am a brand, and that's how I feed this family. That's how I pay these bills. You see that linen closet is stacked with the best towels that you wipe and clean your body with. It's stacked with the best food, the organic food we feed our daughter with, and that's right. I'm the brand. I'm saying, in the example that we're talking about, at what point is a woman obligated to tell her man, yo, I used to get down like this? And get down doesn't mean trains and polyamory and sex clubs and 5 over here, 6 over here.
Let's used to give energy to them different ways that you might want.
Yes. For example, let's concretize it. Someone said to me, what the hell is concretizing me? I mean, let's give it an example so that we can really dissect a scenario. When a guy's with a woman, she goes, I don't give head. That's not my thing. He goes, have you ever given head? Yes. Well, how come you don't do it now? I've changed my ways. I don't like it. Whatever. I don't do it. Okay. Maybe there's some trauma there. I'm not going to stress it. Not really my thing. We're going to have to work on it. No problem, she says. Then you find out 6 months prior from your homeboy, she was dealing with dudes that he knew on the other side of town.
Catching all of that.
She was the chiropractor, the way she was adjusting necks.
Educating niggas left and right.
She's the brain doctor, the neurosurgeon. All right, that wasn't 5 years ago. That was 6 months ago. Meet you, right? You over here giving surgery over here and surgery over there. I meet you. You tell me I don't do that anymore. Wait a minute. Now I'm finding out people used to call you at 2 a.m. You used to drive. No one flew you out. No one paid for a Uber. No one came and got you and brought you home. You used to drive and go out there and come back and give head. I'm asking for it as a dude who's getting ready to split bills with you or pay for stuff and do this and do that and cheerio, young mate, and be your man. And I'm not getting head. So let's talk about that. This is the example I want to use. At what level? Why does she have to tell him that she used to do that if she's saying, I don't do that now? I don't care if it was 6 months ago. And she'll say 6 months ago was recent. I don't care if it was 6 months ago. I don't do it anymore. How is she making him look crazy by that personal decision?
What I just want to say is not really about her actions or behavior. It could be anything that he might deem, yo, if people knew this about you and I don't, and I have to hear about it in the streets, I look dumb. It's not about what the behavior was. If it's information that you know might make him look dumb if he doesn't know it out here and he can hear about it in the streets or whatever, he's gonna look dumb. Some guys.
She's already admitted though that she did it. She already admitted she used to give head.
Well, to answer your question, I don't think there's any point that she's obligated to tell him. But I'm just talking about, to me, the energy should be, this is something that me and my brother have talked about ad nauseum. Like, he's been so real with me, shout out to Tiva, he's been mad real with me about some things that have happened to him. He's been through, he's experienced, because he's just like, yo, Jay, I don't ever want you to be out in the street and somebody tell you something about me and you be surprised. Like I want you
Mhm.
to know me so well, so intimately that you like you questioning what they talking about. Now you don't even know the whole story. You just talking about certain storylines or narratives that's a part of it, but you gonna know the whole story. And
Mhm.
what I'm saying is, if I am giving you my time, energy, resources, providing those tangible things that homegirl talked about, the energy I need from you is this is who I am vulnerably, and your past is a part of who you are. So if
Mhm.
you used to be getting slutted out, like, yo, tell me and give me the opportunity and a chance to say, I want to move forward with this or not. But if there's information that you have that you know if I don't have and I heard it out here in the streets, it would make me feel like you are hiding something from me and it would make me look dumb. I feel like that information should be shared. It should want to be, somebody should want to share that information. They're not obligated to, but I feel like they should want to.
So if a woman, going to another example now, because we did the whole scenario with the head. If a woman, you find out, well, let's say a woman has done, let's say, two or three trains. She's had some trains run on her. Not crazy numbers, 5, 4, 3 dudes, but she's had trains run on
Let's take it out of a sexual context. Let's
her.
say she's got a felony charge,
Okay,
conviction. Let's say she's got a felony conviction.
okay, that's perfect. And I thank you for taking it out of the sex realm for a second. She has a felony conviction. She did her time. She's done. She's over with. Free person in society. Did her 36 months. Did her 12 months or 24 or 18, whatever it was. She did her month. She did her time. She's now out and dating. Productive member of society, has a job, doing well. You start dating her. Start talking about how you grew up, how you lived, how you're living, what your plans are for the future. She never divulges that she was convicted of a crime and did some time in prison. Is she wrong?
I don't think right or wrong is the right concept. I think
Okay.
it's not
Me.
wrong. I don't think it's wrong that she didn't tell you. But I think because y'all might not be at the place where she feels comfortable sharing that
Mm-hmm.
piece of her life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think her as the person who is withholding that information, I think there should come a time, and it's on her timeline pace or whatever, where she's just like, yo, if I'm gonna be with this person, we thinking about buying a home, both of our names are gonna be on the mortgage. I get looked up and that felony charge comes up and all of a sudden lenders are like, yeah, we don't want to do that anymore. And he now has to go through, well, like, damn, why don't you tell me this? Because now we can't get this home that we both really want. Or something like that. Our kid wants to go to this school and they find out that and I got to find out from the school that you had this felony conviction. You didn't tell me. That's all. It's just the scenario of not wanting to find out information in the street that will make you look dumb as the
Mm-hmm.
person who is investing time and energy and resources into this other person. Like that to me is not a stretch. And I would not be mad at somebody who felt that way. I know there's some dudes who would, like we talked about, who would just feel that way because they're like, regardless of what the behavior was, I had to hear about it from third party outside of the home, and I look stupid because I didn't know.
Now, I agree with you because a felony conviction, in my opinion, is not only has interpersonal ramifications, community ramifications, it has legal, financial, it's a cross-cutting impact, meaning it's a cross-sectional impact. It impacts several sections of your life. But if we go back to my example of the train, you're meeting a girl 36, she's done 3 trains in her mid-20s. Some of the men on that train are maybe people you know in your community, whatever community, your college community, your grad school community, whatever community. And you're taking her around, introducing her to people. Someone pulls you aside and says, yo, son, I don't know if you know, but a couple of homies hit. Oh, that's fine. I mean, yo, people, no, son. My dude,
Right.
they
It's
ran
footage.
trains. Son, dudes ran trains. Dudes ran,
Mm.
what? Yeah, they ran trains. And I'm just letting you know, because one dude came in here today They spoke, and I mean, it's no cool. I don't think she's doing anything wrong. She's handling herself. She's handling her business, her BI. I know her, but I'm just letting you know that dudes in here, one dude was here beat, and there were trains ran. You'll get in the car and go home. In home, you say, yo, someone put me aside and said you had some, you participated in a couple of trains. Yes, I did. Well, how come you didn't tell me that? Well, I didn't think it was important for our relationship. That was X amount of years ago, which it was 10, 12 years ago. I don't know who you know. And even though we both are established professionals in the professional world, no matter where you are, and that's a little note to everyone, professional world, no matter where you are, smaller than what you think it is, no matter how big and how many numbers you're dealing with it. Trust me, the world's smaller than what you think it is, that professional world. That's now off my sidebar, back to the story. I didn't think it was that important. Was she supposed to tell him I participated in trains?
It's not a supposed to or not. It's a
yeah, but
because
from her perspective,
to me, the burden is not about supposed to or not, right or wrong. It is if I'm considering how this information that you don't have could make you look, and you could potentially hear it from anyone other than me. I would want you to hear that from me. Like, what if she didn't? What if your partner didn't tell you that they had a history of chlamydia? They had it 3 or 4 times. Is she supposed to tell you?
Does she currently have
it? What if she? No, that's what I'm saying. It was 10 years ago. She had it 3 times, dealing with 3 different dudes. She hasn't had it since then.
Yeah,
but yo, it's a history of an STI. You wouldn't want to know that, right? But now, what if you found out? Just be like, yo, the same dudes that was at the club, pulling your coattail is like, yo, son, I don't know if you know, but back in the day, she used to be burning them like,
burning them, man. And at the same time,
fire, you know what I'm saying? Giving up the claps for who needs applause, you know what I'm saying? But if you found that out from third party, you would be like, damn, I wish I had heard this from my person. That's all it is, just considering information that if your partner heard it from third party and it wasn't true, you know how it would make them feel and look.
I think it's hard for some people to share their life at that level, even when and we're talking about scenarios where that person is your person, not like just some transitory, okay, you're a traveling nurse, I'm a traveling doctor, or vice versa. We're just here, boom, bam, bam. You're going on to Alabama, I'm going on to North Carolina. See you later. If we see each other in professional circles, we'll just keep it professional, PG, take care. I'm talking about that's your person. How do you develop? I mean, and someone didn't tell you yet that they participated in trains. Or, in your example, that they had chlamydia. They're clean now, been clean for 15 years. But hey, when I was young, I was reckless. I didn't know a lot. I was wild. I trusted some people I shouldn't have trusted, and I was just really just immature. My brain hadn't matured yet, and my knowledge base hadn't matured yet, and I made some bad decisions. But hey, I've been clean for a minute. Nothing. I don't think. Now, the funny thing is, you go to your medical doctor, they're going to ask you for certain things. And you should divulge that to a medical doctor. It's just because you should, you tell your medical history to people, to your doctor, meaning. But is your partner expected to know these things? Again, are you looking crazy in the streets? And this is something my boy said. He was like, certain things I know I'm supposed to handle with a level of maturity. Don't know if I would have the maturity to handle it, but I know enough to know I wouldn't blame the other person. I would just know I ain't got the maturity to deal with it, and I'm going to have to bow out. And that response I liked. Right, yo, look, you participated in a few trains? Cool. That was your body, your choice. But now I'm around some of the people you participated in trains with, and even though everybody's off of it and really ain't on it like that, I ain't got the maturity to deal with it, so I'm going to have to tell you, hey, listen, peace. Or I got to find a way to deal with it. And if I can't deal with it and I feel like I'm going to drag up your past and drag you through the mud and drag up things that have nothing to do with who you are now, because that's who you used to be, you know what? I may have to roll out and realize it's not you, it's me. I'm the one who's immature, or better yet, a better statement, doesn't have the maturity to deal with this situation in a loving and respectful way that's going to honor your humanity, honor my humanity, and honor what we built together.
And I mean, again, that is a side that I'm agreeing with you on. I just feel like that there has to be part of the conversation has to be the person who owns the information that's being omitted and why they're doing that. Period.
I,
Regardless if you get the outcome you want, there's information that this person knows will impact how you look at them, and they are purposefully omitting it or not telling you. That has to be explored or talked about or discussed why they do that.
But I'm saying, if I don't know if certain things have to be said in order to have a healthy, productive relationship. And if it comes out, it wasn't meant to have you look crazy or be crazy. It was because I didn't think it was going to get out.
Totally agreed. I don't know that anybody's expecting that expecting that this information is going to make them look crazy. That wasn't the intent. But you knew that it might make me have questions or look at you differently. It's you putting yourself in that person's shoes. That's all it is. It's being considerate and empathetic about, yo, I know that I'm withholding this information for a reason. I know as a person, if my person was withholding information from me, I'm going to want to know why. Especially if it's information that could impact how they look at me.
But this is the thing I'm saying. I think you have a presupposition, or you're presupposing rather, that in order to have a connected relationship, all the details and the facts have to be there. And this is what Dan Savage from The Village Voice used to say. No, we talked about it.
Saying. That's not what
relationships and partnerships, not depositions.
And that's the reason why I say they're not supposed to tell you. There's no obligation. But when you talk about connectivity, being vulnerable, communicating, being honest, being transparent, being genuine, sometimes it's going to require digging up the details that you don't want to articulate and say about yourself. Sometimes it's going to require that. Now, if it's not about sexual deviant behavior or it's about something else, again, it's just considering the other person's point of view. If they found this out from a third party, not from me, how would they feel?
Know that we're still dealing with, I think, the male perspective on this. Obviously, that's all we can talk about because we're men. Can't really talk about it from a woman's perspective about anything because we're not women, and even though we're in the heteronormative, we're not on the opposite side of the heteronormative. But I hear what you're saying. This is an interesting conversation that has to be continued.
Because I think there's a functional equivalent. And I mean, this might be extreme, but think about how many women, I'm thinking about how many women I have heard who are on dating apps saying, yo, this person, this guy didn't tell me he had a kid. I had to find out like this. Or they
or a wife.
Or a wife, and they're separated and da-da-da-da. Whatever it is, it's just like, you got me out here looking stupid because I'm telling everybody about you. And they like, bitch, you don't know he married? Whatever it is, I'm just consider somebody receiving information about you.
But I think, yes, you're absolutely right. But I'm saying, I think the element that's different here is we're talking about the past. So a dude gets with a woman, never tells her that he's been married and divorced. 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I was married.
It's information, not. I'm talking about it's just information. Whether it's the past, whether it's current.
No, it's current versus past is different because I said everything I've done is about this whole dynamic of this is who I used to be. That's not who I am now. This is what I've done. This is not what I do now. We did that with the head. We did that with the whole senator thing and the tape. I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that if someone said, I was married and divorced and then walking around single, which I am, but when you said you were single, you seem like you were single, never married. You've been married before. That was for 2 or 3 years, from 21 to about 23, 24. But, since then I've been single. I'm 36 now and I'm ready to get married. But you never told me you were married before. Yeah, but it hasn't impacted. We were young. It was an uncontested divorce. Yeah, I was making $30,000 a year. She was making 35, and that's it. I've seen her once since then because I had to sign some paperwork, and that was 5 years ago. What the heck does it matter to you?
It matters, and it's not for us to justify what information would matter to somebody who doesn't want to look crazy. I just know that the scenario of there being information that is being withheld and someone knowing that it could impact how you look at them, and you're purposely withholding it, there's something to that. And I would want to know what that is.
So in the case, to bring it back to the last things we have to hop off, with the case of the trains, and you get the pull aside, yo, homies used to run trains on her. You're saying she should have, not against should, because you seem to be, eschewing, avoiding this whole term of should. You're saying it would have been nice for someone to say, I participated in a couple of trains. When you do the question thing, have you ever played that game with people? Have you ever? Yeah. In the game that have you ever? We played about 2 or 3 times. You ain't never mentioned no trains.
Yeah.
You ain't never mentioned no marriage.
Those circumstances specifically don't mean anything to me, but I feel like there is information that if somebody had. I'll give you an example. I knew a girl. She found out after she got married to a dude that he used to smash her friend. Now, he might be like, well, yo, that was 20 years ago. That was 15 years ago. I didn't think it was important. And here's the crazy part. They're still friends. Her friend never said anything to her. Who do you think she would rather hear that from? Girl, I was telling you about him this whole time.
I didn't want to do anything to mess it up, because if I told you I smashed, that's what she may be thinking. You would have been like, nah, but I knew he was good for you.
But here's the thing, and that's the thing that I feel like is being taken away, is that the information itself is not going to make somebody look at you differently, but it could. And the fact that there's the potential for that, you just want to be considered. Like, yo, listen, this could come up in the future. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all are friends. I don't know if she ever told you, but yo, we used to hook up. Or even it coming from her friend, like, yo, girl, listen, I know you really serious about this dude. You really like him. You just need to know I used to fuck him back in the day.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Somebody would say, all right, well, I ain't getting with you. Because I know for a lot of us who are very loyal, the fact that my man smashed is just, I'm not going to do. The fact that my homegirl smashed, I'm not doing that.
And then if that person walks away, they're not for you.
Some people think,
for you.
Some people say, well, I think he's good for you. So maybe the homegirl was like, I just think this is a good setup for you. And I didn't want to taint that. So I don't know.
It's not your power to taint it. If they're supposed to be together, they're going to be together.
Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Dancing now. Ain't gonna hurt
out there on the floor.
Love God, Love Sex. www.lovegodlovesexpodcast.net. Check us out. We got lots of free goodies for you, free ebooks, and download them. Share them with your friends. Always, in this case, more the merrier. Take care. Until next time. Heath.
Jamie.
Peace.